I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and in this video, I'm going to be talking to you about when your avoidant ex comes back. You know, one of the things that we're always trying to teach you guys about is attachment styles. When you start to really understand that people attach differently and they often have a different set of needs, oftentimes than you do, it can be really enlightening. And when you start to understand someone else's needs, you can understand how to make some changes into doing the things that are going to allow them to be happier in the relationship. And if you're more confident and secure within yourself, you're going to be more empathetic and understanding of that person. So if you're dating more of an anxious person, you can have a little bit more empathy of, okay, they're feeling scared, they're feeling abandoned or neglected. Let me try to be a little bit more proactive here into soothing them, into understanding what's going to trigger them. And let me try and, make some repairs or efforts to reconnect before they spiral out of control. Now, if you're dating someone who's more avoidant, you want to have the ability to allow for more space and understand that they need more time for themselves and trying not to take that so personally. So when you start to get to a secure place and you're really secure, navigating this becomes a lot easier. But until you really develop those muscles, those internal muscles, you're going to struggle. And I get it because I used to be more anxious back in the day. And so I really spent a lot of time working through that. I was going to therapy once or twice a week. I was reading books, learning about anything that I could, scouring the internet to understand relationships, to understanding breakups, anything that I could find. And of course, this was years ago when the internet was a lot younger and there was not nearly the resources there are now. But one of the things that you have to do with an avoidant ex in particular is give them space and stop pressuring them. But a lot of these coaches don't understand breakups at all because they are telling you to bombard that person. Clean slate messages is only making an avoidant want to run away even more. It's only going to chase somebody even further away to overwhelm them with a handwritten letter or a grand gesture. Now, I get the anxious person wanting to show that avoidant that they care and that they mean so much, so they think that's going to make the avoidant want to stay, but actually it makes them lose attraction and run. So this is why we teach you guys no contact, but from our standpoint, it's just not reaching out. We're not telling you to ignore your ex. We don't want you to be immature or petty. We're trying to teach you how to handle it like a mature adult, someone that's going to try and take care of and nurture a connection. So a lot of the advice out there is really going to make you overwhelm them. Some of it is going to get you a restraining order, quite frankly, honestly. And that's the case because I've seen certain coaches tell you to do things that will literally get you a restraining order. So when you're dating an avoidant and they end the relationship, a lot of times they're gone for months. And if you're in a negative mindset, they're never going to come back. It's been 5 months. I'm never going to hear from them again. It's going to keep you from learning and growing and getting into the best place that you can be. I really believe in trying to stay positive. Not necessarily about they're definitely coming back, but with the mindset of, you know what? I'm going to put myself in the best position to reattract them if they come back. And if they don't, all this stuff that I'm learning, I'm going to use it in my next relationship. That's the way I kind of look at things. But avoidant exes do come back all the time. A lot of times they come back months later. Now, I don't tell you guys to put your life on hold. That's up to you. That's on you to decide how long you may or may not want to do that. You're an adult. You can live the life that you want to live and make your own choices. However, we are really big about personal growth, educating yourself, and putting yourself in a position to process your breakup and to move forward. Because oftentimes we tell you guys, you have to let them go to get them back. But people don't want to hear that. They want to hang on desperately to get them back. But that only puts you in a position of desperation and getting in front of them again. It's not going to be equal. The attraction isn't going to be balanced anymore because one person wants it so much. And if you think about, like, if you're going in for a job interview, if you desperately want that job and they could sense that, they realize they don't have to pay you as much as you want because they know you're desperate. Okay, so if you're trying to barter for something and you're coming across as too eager and they sense that, they can keep the price at whatever they want. So you have to look at it like that. And in their interactions, you're really going to have to develop a lot of emotional self-control. If you come on too strong, too eager, it's going to make them run away again. It's going to overwhelm them again. So you have to really stay centered when an avoidant ex comes back. So I got a good email coaching today that I think will be insightful for you guys and help you see some of the stuff that I'm talking about. Hey, Coach Craig, I've been watching your videos for months, and I've done a lot of your workbooks. I've had friends who recommend me to you after you had coached them through some hard times in the past. And we always appreciate your referrals and sharing us with the people you care about. I just wanted to write in to say thank you because your lessons work. I was in a 3-year relationship that ended when we hit some hard times. I had some health issues and lost my job, and my ex had a death in the family. And I've talked about the death in the family has a big impact on us. Deaths often affect our unconscious in a lot of different ways. As a matter of fact, today is my friend's birthday that passed away, and it was tough. He passed away about 4 years ago, and today he would have been, I think, 45. But he was like a brother to me. And I know that when it's leading up to around this time of year that it's going to impact me. And so I often write it down on the calendar so I can visually see it and get reminded, oh, okay, this is why I'm maybe sad, or maybe why I'm thinking about this person more, maybe just not feeling like myself. I am more of an anxious attachment kind of person, and my ex is more of an avoidant. She wanted her space to deal with this, and I wanted to pull her closer. We lost sight of each other's boundaries as we spiraled. Here's the anxious avoidant trap that we often see that causes a lot of breakups. At the end of November, she vanished for a few days before calling me to say it was over. So when that happens, we often get out of control, beg, plead, handwritten letters, good reminder texts, all that stuff, and it just pushes them away further. This is why we say just stop reaching out. Just leave them alone. Allow them to reach out when they're ready. My friends rallied around me, and one of them pointed me to your YouTube channel, and we appreciate that. I dove in, and on day 2, went into no contact. Great, he got in there quick. For the next 2.5 months, I went to therapy, hit the gym, and reconnected with my friends. I got my life back, fixed my health problems, landed a new job, and worked on your workbooks. Great, so he's really being proactive on personal growth. Let's see how it pays off. I took your suggestions on everything from total no contact, and remember, it's no reach out. I don't want you to ignore your ex if they reach out to you, unless they're consistently breadcrumbing you. But if they haven't reached out in months and they finally reach out, I don't want you to ignore them. They might not reach out again if you do that. And how to post on social media and working on myself. 2.5 months later, my ex contacted me. Not about the cat, haha, but to offer help me plan a trip to an amusement park that I was taking my kids to. A few days later, she agreed to meet for coffee and shared how scared she was that she would never speak to me again. Okay, so he made a mistake here. I do not recommend coffee. I don't like coffee dates. I really do not like coffee dates. Maybe you do, but in my experience, they don't typically go well, so I would not look to set a coffee date. And I don't know if this was in the daytime or the morning or the nighttime, but make sure the date is in the evening. That is where romance happens. But this is important. She shared how scared she was she would never speak to him again. See, that's what no contact can help you do. Obviously, for you, it's focusing inward and growing inward. But if you're wanting to reattract somebody, no contact and the space allows them to miss you, and that dynamic to not feel trapped, smothered, and like they want to run away any longer, and now they want to reconnect. She had thought about me and almost reached out to my mom and my therapist to see how I was doing. See? Well, see what I'm telling you? This is the things that your exes tell you when they get back and start to open up to you again. That was a week ago, and we are now talking every day and taking things slow. Okay, but are you reaching out to her, or are you letting her reach out to you? I don't want you to try and reattract her through text messages. If she reaches out, that's fine, but your goal is to set a date and to see them in person. So he's making mistakes here. Okay, now we haven't done a coaching together, but he's getting stuff from the videos, and so maybe he's getting a little confused here. So I want to make sure I'm being very clear. Your goal is to get them to see you in person. I don't want to chit-chat on the phone. Yes, I like that she's reaching out, but I'm getting some feelings that you might be reaching out to her. Your goal, allow her to reach out, then you set a date and you have a great time in person. She has taken the time to work on herself as well. We even exchanged book suggestions. We're going on our first date next weekend to try and put things back together. Okay, that sounds overwhelming. Your goal is to take her out and to have a good time. Your goal is not to have this major, massive discussion about everything and quote-unquote figuring out right away. That's your anxiety. Your anxiety is trying to get her to lock her down. But if you were truly secure, and I know you're still working on those workbooks, you're not going to try and lock someone down. Your goal is to simply have a great time and allow her to feel the connection again. Now, if she brings up the breakup, you talk about it a bit, but your ultimate goal is to re-attract her, not overwhelm her, okay? So be very careful. I wanted to say thank you. I never would have had a second opportunity without her and your channel and your suggestions. Thank you, Coach Craig, Victoria, and Margaret. Rest in peace. It's really important on how you behave when your ex reaches out. Small behaviors are going to have a huge impact on if you are creating attraction or pushing them away further. Your goal is to take her out, have a great time, allow her the space to come to you, to tell you she misses you, to allow her to tell you she wants to fix those things. Your goal is to simply have fun, to reconnect. So make sure that if your avoidant ex reaches out, you don't overwhelm them. You don't come on too strong, because if you do, they're just going to run away again. Okay? Casual, relaxed, fun, and take things slow. Okay? You don't even know what their agenda is yet. You want to consider that as well. There's a lot of things you want to consider, a lot of questions you need to ask yourself. And of course, that's what the Creative Healing course and the workbooks are going to help you do. So when you get to this place and you're getting in front of them again, you're going to see things a lot more clearly. All right? So hopefully this one's been helpful. Of course, when you want to get my help personally, you can do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Skype. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and I will talk with you soon.